call to order the city council special meeting for today, Monday, August 29th. Roll call, please.
Mayor Garrett,
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Canty. Councilman Sutton,
Here.
Councilwoman Smith,
Present.
Councilwoman Miller. Mayor, you have a quorum.
Thank you. I invite everyone in the audience and on Zoom to say the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, before we approve the agenda, I would ask for a motion to excuse Mayor Pro Tem Cantor.
Motion to excuse Mayor Pro Tem Cantor.
Is there a second? Okay, it's been moved and second. Don't believe there's any discussion, but roll call for approval.
Councilman Jenkins,
Yes.
Councilwoman Smith,
Yes.
Councilwoman Miller. Yes.
And yes, for me too.
Sorry. Mayor Garrett, right, it's not my typical,
I know, I'm
thank you.
walking you through it. Okay, now, I would do the approval for the agenda, but my understanding is that we need to adjust the agenda. So whoever makes the approval, please remove item.
Just
Actually,
table this time.
See,
It doesn't actually, my understanding is that there's some additional information that the property owner would like to submit and have made a request that the item be tabled until the September meeting. So you can leave it on the agenda and then when it comes up, just someone make a motion to put it on the table.
okay,
It six in one way, half dozen the other.
smile or not. Okay, never mind then. Approval of the agenda then.
Motion to approve the agenda.
Support. It's been moved and second to approve the agenda. Is there any Hearing none, roll call, please.
Councilwoman Smith,
Yes.
Councilwoman Miller. Was Mayor Garrett,
Yes,
Councilman Jenkins.
Yes.
thank you. Now we come to a point of public comments for items that's on the agenda. Speakers are limited to 3 minutes. Anyone in the audience that would like to speak about anything on the agenda, or is there? Yes, Bruce is in the audience.
Everyone else here? All right. All right. Mayor Pro Tem Cantor, you
Yep.
have your 3 minutes.
Yep, just wanted to say that I couldn't hear which item was going to be tabled, whether it was B or C, but I had just 2 quick comments on both. House in the Woods offer, obviously it sounds like we have another offer and that needs to be vetted. But when we do have that discussion, it would be great if I didn't understand why the land split was checked on the vacant land addendum for the current applicant, the $120,000 offer. So when you get into that conversation, if the city attorney or somebody, maybe Karen, since she's the realtor in the group, could explain why that was checked on there. And then with respect to the PUD agreement, in the packet, it didn't include anything about the site plan that the planning commission approved, although I did give a detailed description of that at the last council meeting of what those additional conditions were. And I believe most all of them were actually written into the development agreement. I didn't see the one about the resurfacing the parking lot, but I may have missed that. But those are my comments. So thanks. I'll be listening.
Thank you.
Is there any other person or that would want to speak?
So just to clarify, Councilwoman Miller had a comment about whether or not Mayor Pro Tem can participate in the meeting. He can comment during the public comment, but he can't vote. He can't weigh in on any of the items when they come up or discuss them during discussion. But he can
You're
adjust.
sure that he can do public comment? Because I
Yeah.
was told that I couldn't do that previously. You're not there, you're not supposed to participate in the meeting.
No, you can, you absolutely have a right, everybody has an absolute right to make a public comment at any time. The restrictions are on his participation in the meeting, so he's not able to vote on anything, offer discussion, or when the specific items come up.
Anything else? Okay, moving into the action request for consideration and approval. First up is authorize Oakland County Water Resources Commissioner to submit drawings and specifications for the Lathrop Village Sanitary Retention Basin Improvements Project to Eagle via the My Waters permit portal. So I introduced it, didn't I? Go ahead.
So had the opportunity to meet with Carrie and Gary and Evans and Tim from the Water Resource Commissioner Office. And they explained when we were able to sit down with them and have a discussion that they are doing the paperwork that gets submitted, but they need the authorization from the local community, from us, to be able to submit those drawings on our behalf through the My Waters portal through Eagle. And that is, very much in their bailiwick. So it's not something that is in my wheelhouse to do. And it requires a resolution. So Evans put together this memo that is in front of you that talks about what the permit is, our Part 41 permit to the Environment, Great Lakes and Energy. And to make sure that the plans and specifications for the wastewater facilities are complete to the minimum requirements, and that the proposed construction is acceptable to accepted design standards for wastewater facilities to protect the public and environment. So these are things that are going on to the retention basin out there, and being able to discharge into the Evergreen Farmington sanitary drain system. So it's just the resolution that is before you to authorize that.
Thank you. Have a motion. Anyone make a motion?
Motion to authorize Oakland County Water Resources Commissioner to submit drawings and specifications for the Lathrop Village Sanitary Retention Basin Improvements Project to Eagle via the My Waters permit portal.
Is there a second? Second. It's been moved and seconded for the authorization for Oakland County Water Resources Commissioner to submit the drawings to the and specifications to the MI Waters permit portal. Is there any question? Any discussion?
Yes.
No, go ahead.
They're charged to us for this?
No, this is part of the process of their working with us. They're already doing that. It's part of our working relationship with them. To my knowledge, I don't believe. There's no charge. Okay.
Any additional questions?
Well, I think to clarify, there is a charge for them handling the management and oversight of the tank. But
Right, it is
spec-
part of our overall services that we have with them. This is not an additional charge to that.
Just make sure that we're clear.
Any additional questions? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Councilwoman Miller,
Yes.
Mayor Garrett,
Yes.
Councilman Jennings,
Yes.
Councilwoman Canes.
Yes.
Thank you. Next up, House in the Woods offering.
I will let Mr. Rude address this. He started out with one offer and now we have two.
Thank you very much for hearing me today. Okay, appreciate it. To kind of review what went on a couple of weeks ago, we had an offer of $100,000. That purchaser, I informed them that from the agent that that offer was not acceptable. He inquired about a counter and I said, you're not going to give us a counter because they don't want to play their hand, obviously, for obvious reasons. To make a long story short, that purchaser came up with another offer of $120,000 for the property. This is a cash offer. Over the weekend, another offer came in. And this offer, by the way, I let both parties know that there were other offers on the property. I said, if you, in case of this one at 120, which came in about a week and a half ago, I informed them at the time they were the only offer. When the second offer came in, both parties were aware that there were other offers on the property. The second offer has come in. The second offer is $150,000 cash. They were willing to give us a $5,000 deposit upon acceptance within 72 hours of acceptance. They want to close by October 12th. They want to do an assessment on the property prior to closing. To determine if there's any environmental concerns or anything of that nature that they may want to be aware of. They are taking the property as is, which means that they are responsible for any removal of any debris, brush, whatnot. Okay. As council is well aware, that's been a mantra for the last several months. Qualified purchaser, they've shown us proof of funds. $150,000 cash, that's what we're asking. All I have to say.
Thank you.
I don't know what, but they're initially the first offer, just to go over the first offer a little bit. Their plan, it's a family that's buying the property. They plan on building 2 separate houses on the property. They know that anything that's being built has to be with approval of the city and or council. And the same thing holds true with this second offer. This is a builder and an investor type person. And they want to build other houses on the property. I said, again, anything you do is with approval of the city and of council. So it's not a situation where you can come charge in and do whatever they want. I have had quite a few inquiries since last Thursday.
Oh,
To be honest with you, there was an article in the newspaper about this,
Mhm.
and I've had quite a few inquiries on the property. And a couple of them I had to kind of brush off. Somebody wanted to make it a park, and I said, no, I don't think that's gonna fly. It's just not gonna happen. So again, we have 2 offers, 2 cash offers. One is $150,000. This is what we're asking. It's subject to approval by our city attorney, of course. And up to council what they want to do.
so with the first offer, that was, we would have to clean the brush up and, no,
As
No,
is.
first offer, they were taking the property as is.
okay. So they
Okay.
both are, I just wanted to make sure that there was
Okay,
no
no
difference in that.
problem, yeah.
Okay,
Both offers are taking the property as is.
Can you, since you've got more interest now, can you do a highest and best by next Monday or something like that?
Well, in answer to your question, that could possibly be done. But $150,000 is what we're asking. So they're coming in at our asking price. It could go either way. If you take that chance, this party could back out and say, I'm not gonna do that. On the other side of the coin, somebody may come in at a lower offer. That's the risk that you run if you go highest and best due by a certain date. I spoke to this party today who had the first offer, and they said that we're gonna stand on that offer. They had an opportunity to raise their offer. They came in a week and a half ago at $120,000. They were notified yesterday. I made every effort to contact them yesterday that there was another offer on the property. I did not tell them what the other offer was. We're going to be able to find that out from our meeting today, of course. But they had their opportunity to come up with above 120 and they chose not to.
I know, but you said if there's interest now, people are paying attention. I mean, every deal I've done in the last year and a half has been highest and best and it's gone way over. I mean, I'm not saying that's gonna happen.
I understand. Again, that's up to council what they want to do. The city and the council is a representative as a seller. It's up to them what they want to do. And both of these parties know that. It will be put back on, when I say put back on the market, if an offer is accepted, it will go on the market as ABO, which means accepting backup offers. That doesn't mean that somebody else is going to come in and make an offer as a backup. Because any offer subject to approval of the city for what they want to do. And they have that in here also. They're not buying the house, or excuse me, not buying the property as is, and then at a later date, they find out they can't do what they want to do on the property. They want to know what they can do on the property, then they will close on the property if everything's okay with the city.
And you don't have more information about what their plans are.
At this time, I do not, except to say that his intent is to build separate houses on the property that will require property to be split. I'm not too familiar with the city's procedure on that, but it will require splits of the property. On Morningside Plaza, there's 500 feet of, at least 500 feet of frontage there. And that frontage would have to be split up the way it is around the rest of Morningside Plaza. I'm sure council's familiar with the rest of that property there. One other thing, I got a call earlier today from someone who wanted to buy part of the property. Just to build their own house, to buy part of it. I did indicate that council that the city was more interested in selling the entire parcel, not just a part of it. But that's a possible change in the later date if things don't work out in any of these offers.
Did they give any idea? You have any idea of what they would offer?
They didn't give me any indication as to what they would offer. I'm certain they wouldn't be anywhere near this asking price, which is for one part of it, but my understanding from the city has been that they want to sell an entire parcel to one party and then they develop it from there.
Can I ask why we wouldn't want to park there?
Pardon me?
You made a comment there, said he would put a park there and that's not going to happen. Why is that? Did we decide people couldn't pick what they were going to do with the property?
I didn't really say that wouldn't happen. I said, but it doesn't sound like that's something that they want to do. And again, that would be up to the city. I do have the party's number, the agent's number. I could get back with them if they're interested in doing that, but I don't know if the city is willing to do that. Maybe I'm wrong.
Maybe the residents who live there might appreciate that. I don't know. And it depends what kind of park it is. If it's a quiet,
Well,
walkable park, that'd be wonderful.
The party was indicating.
Skateboard park.
In a way, the party was indicating to me that they wanted to have it as some type of a park where they could have parties and whatnot. I don't know if that's gonna fly with the residents around that.
Well, we have that behind City Hall, so we don't really need that there, but
I understand. I think we have to go with the here and now. Here and now is we have an offer of $150,000. Cash, he's a proven purchaser. It's up to council.
Well, thank you. Can we please put a motion on the floor for it?
Madam Mayor, one question.
Oh, wait a
Did
minute.
they submit a purchase agreement with this latest offer?
Yes.
Yes.
you didn't get one?
I got the disclosure and I got the.
Oh,
It's in
yeah,
your
we-
email.
Oh,
Something.
When did you
I
send
include you?
this?
Maybe I didn't include you, Scott. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I'm not on my email.
You want me to forward it to you?
Sorry. I was gonna say I can send it to him real quick
Okay.
here.
Thank you.
is there more up to date proof of funds? This is almost a month old.
This is the one that they sent me. I do not have any, I could ask them for up to date, obviously not now, but I do not have anything more.
Well, it wouldn't have up to date until August 31st, seeing that the statement is from July 1st and to July 31st. It's still in the middle. It's still in the middle of the
Get a statement,
This
which
is
is
a-
like, oh,
this
you
is a
can get.
recent-
Yeah, I
this
think
is a
so.
recent,
There's just
this
a
is-
lot of activity on this account, so 15,000, 43, 25, so, you know.
We have an ending balance of significantly more than what we're asking on.
Mhm.
Right, but
Yeah.
Haven't you ever had that happen?
Did you get it yet?
Sadly, I have.
Scott.
Yes. Yeah.
So I do have a question for you, Scott. So when it comes to making this motion, seeing that there's two that's on the floor, or there's two offers, do you just make a motion for one, or how do you What's the,
I think it's again, it's the desire of council that you, at this point, like John is saying, you have a lot of, two in the hand, bird in the bush, whatever that
Yeah.
saying is. But you've got two in front of you, 120 and 150. If you
Exactly.
want to accept either one, I would specify which one. And then put in the contingencies that council is comfortable with, obviously subject to approval from review of my office. I'm not a huge fan of the contingency of site plan approval, because that's a fairly prolonged process if this would be off the market. The site plan gets approved by the planning commission. This applicant will be required to go through the same process and procedure that any other applicant would be.
And if I may, if they're just building single family homes, that would not require
site plan?
site plan approval by the planning commission. That is something that would be handled within the building department itself. If any of the, if either of the offers or accepted offers, I guess, were to propose cluster housing or, a more intense level of development, that would then require planning commission site plan approval, and I believe then the site plan condominium documents would also be subject to the approval of council, so not necessarily getting the,
Well, any,
that's part of it,
Well,
but
we're just,
You're
I'm not
speaking about
sure
it.
what,
Right.
what their intent is for the property, so that's why I say, when it's contingent upon site plan approval. That makes me think they have bigger plans than just,
okay,
right,
or maybe they're just using site plan approval as a generic term.
well, variance, any variance obviously has to be approved by
Mhm.
council. I think that's what you're speaking about. Yeah.
no, single family homes, the redevelopment of a single family home is done, or the building of a single family home is done through the building department itself. Typically, site plan approval via the planning commission is for commercial projects and multi-family denser sort of housing development. A variance is, I don't think necessarily applicable for right now, but that would be an exception to the zoning ordinance. That would be
Okay, the indication on this offer is that right now, they're not looking at any type of site on this offer. They're not looking at any type of site plan approval. This is the offer for 150,000. They do want to have a due diligence about any type of environmental issues with the property, which is understandable. That's not going to be unusual with any offer. But they are not asking for any type of site plan approval based upon what this offer is right now.
Yeah, just looking through it quickly, I don't see any contingencies in there, so.
That was our
And
requirement.
Item
wasn't it?
13, purchaser shall have 30 days from the date of acceptance of this offer to have the property inspected if the physical condition and environmental concerns. All of you can read item 13. They just want to have any concerns that are laid if there's any type of environmental issues on that property.
No, and I think that's completely standard and acceptable. My concern again was just that if this being contingent upon a site plan approval, that's a specific procedure and
I
process.
do not see
So
anything.
I-
in the
I-
offer.
Briefly looking through this, I don't see that in here on this offer.
I thought that was our requirement on the last one. I thought we added that.
Nothing was added on the last one because you did not accept the first offer, understandably. They came back to the counter to 120.
I had raised the same concern with the initial offer about it being contingent upon a site plan approval, but we didn't counter. And it did come through on our second offer.
I might add that this first offer does have the same, their paragraph is paragraph number 10, inspection of property. They want to have an inspection of the property and do due diligence on the property for environmental concerns. Again, that's going to be on any offer that comes in.
So basically, and thank you for that, basically, the motion has to be towards whatever offer we want to accept or deny. Right?
Correct.
Okay, so I need a motion for the, can we, go ahead.
It just says additional conditions on that one. Completion of the sale is contingent on the city of Lakewood Village approving buyer's site plan. Yeah, I thought that was something that we had agreed upon.
No, I don't, I mean, I don't recall agreeing on it. I know that like I said, I brought it up as a concern. Just because of the process, obviously, that's involved with the site plan approval. You've got this property off the market. And then if ultimately their site plan is not approved, then they would retract their offer, and we're now looking sometime next year of relisting this property again, so.
So we basically, as a council, have no control over what goes there.
You do according to your zoning ordinance in the housing, nothing less than 2,000 square feet. That's the minimum house size that is required to be there. If they do that, so it's part of what it is zoned is, that's how the city has input as to what goes there. But they have to meet the building specs that are required for the city to begin with. They have to meet the building specs for the state of Michigan. That's the site plan approval portion of it in my eyes. It's not that it comes back to council per se, but that whatever type of home or homes they want to build out there have to, first of all, be within what the zoning ordinance allows and go forward from that. And I don't believe when this was first put out to market that we had an RFP that was put out there that these are the things we're looking for that we want to develop the land for. You simply chose to list the land to try to sell it, if I'm understanding that. So to kind of bring those rules in at this point in time, it clouds things in my mind. So again, the discussion should be around whether or not you choose to accept either of these offers, or if you want to pursue a different strategy.
So if they want to put the 9 homes on there, like was suggested in the master plan, the rest of the planning commission.
Yes, that would be considered part of the cluster housing site condominium development options they can choose.
And also, are these, the homes that are currently there are condos and they have the homeowners association? Will these properties be part of them?
After reviewing the association documents that are for those homes, that the parent parcel, which is the house in the woods property, specifically excluded themselves from the association. They left themselves an option to join in at a subsequent date, but that time has long since passed. Someone from one of the property owners had contacted me directly about that situation, and based on my review of the documentation, I don't see that as being feasible.
That they would have to join the same association, even though they're right among that group?
Correct, because that originally that whole parcel was one parcel. It was developed and split via a condominium development agreement for the homes that surround the house in the woods property. And at that time, whichever family member was in possession of the property at that time had reserved the right for further subdividing the remaining portion and adding that to that, but there was a time frame on which that was to happen. And that, like I said, that time frame has since expired.
Are those properties on Morningside Plaza? I'm talking about on the inside, on the, you know. which ones I'm speaking
Yeah, on the
of.
circle.
Is that a condominium
Yes.
association?
Yes.
That
Yeah.
is, yeah.
They're,
I was not aware of
they're
that.
detached condos.
Okay. Well, again, I think the decision is which offer are you going to accept? Again, there's nothing on here. Anything they do to the property has to be approved by planning or by the building department. What you're asking, 150,000.
If someone wants to make a motion one way or the other.
Ooh. Well,
When's our next
can
meeting?
we, I guess before we make the motion, we need to all agree, are we doing the 150 or the 120?
Well, that's all you have to do, the motion.
Okay. Somebody gonna have to make a motion.
What'd you say?
I guess somebody has to make a motion.
John, I have one more question. Are both of these developers? I mean, this one says Oh, a contract, I don't know.
One is a homeowner.
Wood villas.
The one
Wood
for-
Villas,
LLC.
The one for 120 is not a developer. They're looking to purchase a property. For
two homes,
what they have said to me, for 2 houses on the property.
right.
That's what they want to do. The other party is a developer. Their intent, they haven't, this intent is to build more houses. Beyond that, I haven't got anything from them.
And are you familiar with that company? Wood Villa LLC? I've
No.
never heard of them.
It is an LLC
It's registered August 11th, 2020.
based upon their checking account, which they have provided. They are an LLC. Wood Villa LLC.
So we haven't seen any of their building. We don't know what their aesthetic is in their building.
What they build is, again, is up to the building department.
No, I'm just curious. I
No,
would,
I'm not familiar with this company at all.
Okay.
And I did find it here real quick. It was, original master deed was approved in 2011. And at that time, it indicated that, the developer reserved the right to modify common areas, add an additional 3 parcels from the remaining parent parcel. But that needed to happen within a 6-year period following the recording of that master deed. So that period of time has been over since 2017.
so that tells us there was room for 3 more parcels to continue around that circle if they wanted to keep that
That's
design. There's probably room for 3 more.
maybe, I'm not gonna, that's just what was in the master deed.
Hmm.
Anyone going to make a motion? Well, I'll make a motion for $150,000 I don't know how you want me to state it.
Do you accept the proposal for offer for $150,000 subject to city attorney's review and confirmation? That work? Any other contingencies that council wanted to put into it?
And you can't do the approval of the building department. Okay, well, exactly what you said. I'll make a motion to accept the offer of $150,000 based on the contingency, with the contingencies of your office or the city attorney's office reviewing it. That was the last one.
That was it.
Second.
It's been moved in second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call please.
Councilman Jennings,
Yes.
Councilman
No,
Okay.
Councilwoman Miller.
No,
Mayor Garrett.
Yes. So the goodness, what is it called? No, I'm sipping my tongue, sorry. So that failed, and so what it'll be is I take a motion to table it until our September meeting, or what is it that you want us
Unless
to
there's an
do?
alternative motion.
Is there an alternative motion?
I think
Table, I make a motion to table it until we can talk about it in September. I think that this is not, as long as we've had it on the market, as long as we've been trying to sell it, and I think we needed to make a decision, but seeing that we can't, that just to table it, or
Yes, if I
Well, we
may also speak,
lose.
again, I would come back to council and ask, what is the intent of what you're trying to do?
right,
I thought the intent was to sell the property. And you have 2 very good offers on the property. one that actually meets the asking price that you had there. So,
So what do we need to?
Well,
I
that
mean,
was the
what do
question. What
we
is it
need
that you
to
all are
get
looking for?
everybody
It's for
I would have gone, except John said I've had activity on it. Why are we jumping
So
on it?
what
I
we're gonna
heard
do-
the magic word.
What we're doing is we're gonna take a chance on the offer that we're at the asking price that
Right.
we have
Right?
for a maybe.
Right.
Because, and so how many maybes have we had from all the people that have listed this property or all the inquiries? Because I know there was someone that was gonna build a house, the one that was gonna build the bigger house.
We had another guy that wanted to build a similar situation, build a house for his family, him and his family. So there was. That's kind of it. I mean, we really only had maybe there's another offer that I'm forgetting about, but maybe 3 offers in
Who's to
2
say,
years.
who's to say that the next offer is gonna be 150,000?
Right. right.
Okay. As was a little line with a little iconic line is, one in the hand is worth 2 in the bush.
That's what I
And
was.
what we have in the hand,
I had 2 in the bush and I don't know how many in the hand.
yeah,
Cliches,
So-
not your thing.
one in the hand is what you're asking. This is your asking price. You're asking 150,000, you're making an offer of 150,000. You can't ask for anything better than that when you come in at asking price, $150,000 cash. And we've had it for, this has been on the market for a year and a half.
You're the
and it's
third
been-
realtor too, right?
Pardon me?
I think you're
I'm
you're the
realtor
third.
number
realtor.
2.
Yeah. Oh,
Okay.
two?
No pun intended on that. But at the same time, this property has been vacant for what, 12, 13 years now?
Yes.
This is an opportunity not only to get $150,000, get the money back that the city has put into it, number one. And number two, you have the potential of future revenue stream with taxes on any property that is built on the property. And the last time I looked at the finances in this community, no offense against it, we can use the money like
Right.
any community can.
I would like to see a highest and best, said if you've had activity and interest, which has not been the case in the
Well,
past.
We've had calls. When I say activity,
Mhm.
I've had a couple of extra calls. That's
Because
it.
they
I
add in
mean,
the paper.
It's not like we've had 50 people through the home and, we got 9 offers. A few months back, we could, there were houses put on the market that were getting 5, 6, and 7 offers. Now, this is vacant property, but they were getting several offers on a property. That era is come and gone, okay? Again, it's up to council what they want to do, but, there's no guarantee that the next offer that comes in is going to be 150. It could be less. We don't know if it's going to be more. This offer is 150. This is what the city was asking.
Well, the person who offered 120 is going to hear this and perhaps he'll counter.
Well, the person who offered 120, I notified them that there was another offer. I did not tell them what the offer was. I didn't tell either party what the other party's offer was. But they had an opportunity to come up with a higher price and they chose not to, which is their prerogative, of course. But 150 is what the city was asking.
So if you do the highest and best, can we do like a special meeting or something and they hurry up? Because we're not gonna wait till September and lose all of the offers.
Well, that's the risk that you're gonna run if you wait until September. I mean, you can table it until then. Maybe they will wait, maybe they won't. I think a decision should be made tonight.
Oh,
And granted, you've already had your vote. But at the same time, I think a decision should be made this evening on one of these offers. And obviously, the one is $30,000 higher.
I don't want to budge. I think 24 hours, highest bid. You get it.
But
I
But-
would do a few
Do what now?
days. Do a few days. If
Do a
they're
few days.
committed, they're committed, you're not gonna lose.
Yeah,
this
you're not gonna
offer.
lose them.
But then you also have to get us back together to vote on it. And that is really, that's chancy also.
I mean, it's not like you have a situation where they're both the same offer amount, they're $30,000 apart. That's a pretty significant. And that's 20% of the.
That's
asking price.
absolutely correct. You're right. It's not even close.
This wasn't an RFP that was sent out with a deadline for offers to be submitted where you can expect everyone to submit them at the same time. And have an opening or something along those lines of the offers.
Well,
You
can
know,
I just
my
make one
concern is that
comment? I
it's-
spent all afternoon
saying
on
this is Mr. Rhodes, is that
Rude.
rejection of this offer may result in.
the rejection of another one, and anyway, we just got this, literally, I showed up, this is sitting here, here's an offer, we're gonna take it. I mean, I feel like I spent all kinds of time on this, which we're not even gonna discuss, and I get 2 minutes on this with a little bit of discussion. I'd like to look into Wood Villa, I'd like to do my own comps and see what properties are selling for. I mean, I would like to do my due
I
diligence.
mean, I can say this, the city's decision to sell this property is on any basis other than the amount of money to be received, that is potentially inappropriate basis for that decision if it's based upon the individual seller or the idea or the plans or anything.
No,
This is a situation where the city looks at this in dollars and cents. They're maximizing the revenue for the residents in terms of recouping the costs that were expended maintaining this property over the last decade. Additionally, you've got an individual or a developer that intends to put per John, a residential home there, which is going to, as you indicated, go back on the tax bill. I think that maybe overthinking this a little bit. But
maybe. But I mean, it would have been nice if we also received, here's what properties are going for in Southfield and Lathrop Village.
That's his job. That's what he's already
And
done.
that's why.
That's why we
that's why
hired
you have
them.
the
And I will say this,
No.
the property wasn't this-
Aberdeen for 150.
Okay, so let's do this. So,
I just-
this is the issue that you have. So if you don't take this offer, you have the chances of losing it. If you want 24 hours or you want a week, you have to get the council back together for a special meeting. That within itself is difficult. And I'm just asking you, Sue, of how, I mean, people don't respond to you, correct, to things that you've been sending out. So I'm just concerned that you have two issues going on, losing it and just coming back together. So it's really whatever you all would like to do. So we're just really kind of this being the dead horse.
I
to
think
me, this
September
one.
12th is a study session. That would be
Yep.
the next regular, potentially could be converted to a.
So there's that part. So we'll just table it until September 12th and we'll,
No, no.
what are
no.
you gonna do?
We have to give. the-
You guys
the
need to
offer-
make the decision tonight. We're not gonna just lose the offer and wait till September 12th.
This is my client, that's what I would recommend. Yeah,
But
I
the next time we
understand.
get sold highest and best until September 12th, whatever you want is gonna not happen until September 12th. That's what I'm saying.
And my other concern could be the highest and best could come back at 50,000 and 70,000. Those are the highest and best that you get. It may not be 150,000 and 155,000. You know,
Well, you ask this client if they're set at 150. And.
right now,
yeah,
the
it's
two
just-
offers that were presented in, you do have the highest and best. You have the asking price that you approved. You know, you approved that, council approved that when you set the latest contract with Mr. Rude.
And
And
honestly, we
Right.
should have been, if you guys were concerned about the 150, you should have been asking the question at the last meeting.
Excuse me, but this just came in tonight.
But still,
Tonight.
okay, Barb said she wanted to do comps. Well, we had the last one. She could have done comps last week with the 120.
Right, and I would have said no at the 120.
But we've had the last one since the last meeting. You could have done your research and said whatever's going on in Southfield and like the village, you would have been prepared. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, so I'm not prepared.
Regardless of you getting the 150 offer, you had time to check your comp.
Okay.
So this is obviously tabled to the 12th since no one is budging, which is, I apologize, but we'll see what happens.
I understand. So it is tabled until the 12th. The
Until our
decision
next-
could be made by that time, possibly.
We have to all be together.
We all have to be together. And the next time we're together is September 12th.
Right, I
So, I
understand.
mean, unless there's a special meeting, but
Okay,
I wouldn't, I would not guarantee that that would happen.
yeah, I understand. I
Yeah.
understand. But
So-
September 12th, we come back, I come back and
But
Maybe we'll-
we need to
maybe
come
we'll
back
walk.
with deliverables, like, so what are you guys looking for when we come back to the September
The
12th
best.
meeting? Are you looking for 170? Are you looking for multiple offers? Like, what are you looking for to say yes? Because technically you have the offer right here, so if they come back, do you still need more research for Wood Villa? What do you need to approve the offer?
Well, the offer, bear in mind, this offer didn't come in like a week or so ago. This offer just came in over the weekend. Okay, so they came in, I got it Saturday, obviously, I couldn't get a hold of anybody. It's not their emergency of a situation. Monday, I noticed by Ms. Montenegro that there was a second offer. She asked for a copy of the purchase agreement, copy of the proof of funds. Again, this is what council is at, or what city was asking, was $150,000. And this party has come in at $150,000.
I get that, but I'm saying from what I'm hearing, people want to know who Wood Villa is, so I'm saying, how can we get that
No,
information?
I don't,
Because they're like, they're not comfortable with Wood Villa. How do we get that information? How do you figure out who Francis is? Because clearly they want that information. So how
don't-
can you get that information?
Well, I suppose that we could try to find a little bit more about them, but bear in mind, who the purchaser is doesn't really make that much of a difference.
no, it doesn't.
But that's what you
That's
asked.
what you just
That's
asked
what I
for.
just-
You
I
did.
just-
You
I
said
was-
who was
I would
Wood
do it.
Villa.
I would love to see a picture of like, what is your house
Yeah,
look
Well, that's
like?
what you're
Bear
asking.
in
That's
mind,
what I'm
you can
telling
See
you.
a picture of their work, and that's all fine and good, but that doesn't apply to what the building department of this community wants. You gotta go by what they present to the building department, and if the building department approves of that. This is a party, I mean. it
Based
could
on
be-
the ordinances that are currently in place.
Yeah.
Can I just ask one other question? Where do we start at the asking price? I just feel this is low. I'm just curious.
We
'Cause I-
started at two,
Two?
250,
Well, it was 250.
250.
250 with the previous.
Yep.
Broker. Then it came down to 190
Mhm.
with me when I started out, and then it was reduced to 150.
Right.
Okay, this was in agreement, I believe, with, if I recall correctly, I think this was at least 4-1, if not 5.
It was 5
It was 5.
for the
Okay.
agreement of it.
Five council members, 4 of whom are here tonight, agreed to $150,000. And this party is coming in at $150,000. This is your asking price.
I just wish you hadn't said, I had lots of activity.
Well.
I think he's
granted, you
clarified
had-
that.
He did, but that's stuck in my brain.
I know, but I think he's clarified that now, so you.
So
kinda
he's had
gotta
only
push
4.
past that. And look at the
I get it.
realistic.
I think we give it highest and best in a week and then we pull everything together and everybody and it comes back on the 12th.
I guess September 12th is our date. Is that correct?
We don't have a choice.
Okay, no problem. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Next is the PUD agreement, Panera Bread. Who's introducing that one?
Well, I'll introduce it for us.
Wow, thank you.
So thank you, Mayor and Council. As you know, we've been working, City Attorney Baker and I and our planning consultants have all been working very diligently with Panera and Cernow Company on redevelopment of the former bank site for a new Panera. And through that, we've been working through the development agreement. We thought we were extremely close, and then just earlier this afternoon, a couple other items came up, points of questions and clarification from Panera and Cerno. So we are respectfully asking that this action item be tabled until the next available city council meeting for real final approval. Final consideration for approval, I should say.
We take a motion to table.
Motion to table the PUD agreement for Panera Bread.
Support. It's been moved in second. Is there any discussion?
No discussion on them.
No, oh, yeah, I'm so sorry. Okay. That's been, roll call, please.
All right. Councilwoman Knapp,
Yes.
Councilwoman Miller,
Yes.
Mayor Garrett,
Yes,
Councilman Jennings,
Yes.
motion passes.
thank you. I think that is all. We have an opportunity for public comment for everything that is not, or anything that's not on the agenda for this evening. If you have something that you would like to say, please come to the microphone or raise your hand on Zoom. And you have 3 minutes for your comment. Is there anyone in the audience or anyone on Zoom that would like to speak?
Hi, it's Lori Cruz. I have a couple questions that I know can't be answered by council, but I wondered if I could address the attorney, Mr. Baker, regarding the surveillance and video that's going on in the community room. And I wondered if that was legal to record people in that room. And is it legal for just anybody in the whole city to FOIA what's happening in that room?
Madam Mayor, can I address?
Sure.
Yes, short answer is yes. It is, the building is a public building. It is posted at the buildings under surveillance 24/7. And subject to the city's record retention policy, which I'm not aware of. Anybody, not just a resident, any individual, as long as they're not a convicted felon, can submit a FOIA request. And they can obtain copies of it. There's no expectation of privacy in a public building.
And then so I could FOIA meetings that happened like 6 months ago?
Well, that's why I said subject to the record retention policy. I don't know how long the city actually saves or archives those videos. And I'll use the example of the in-car police videos because that's what I'm more familiar with. Normally, those are kept for 30 days and then they get recycled or saved over just because of the volume. I'm not sure what the city's record retention policy is with respect to the internal cameras. That's managed by the police department, so.
Okay,
think-
so I can ask them.
So yeah, Chief McKee would know better
Okay,
how long that is, but yeah, if the records exist, well, then absolutely it would be subject to FOIA.
okay, very good. I found it interesting. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else that has any public comments? Okay, hearing none, mayor and council comments. I have none. Anyone?
I have a few.
Okay.
Yesterday, I had the privilege to speak at the Destined to Overcome Ministries dinner for cancer survivors downstairs in City Hall. So I was able to speak and celebrate them because they, of course, overcame cancer, and they were all, happy. We celebrated the cancer survivors and the caregivers, as well as I wanted to give a shout out to Logos Ministries. Their back to school backpack rally was a success on Friday. That's all I have.
Thank you. Anyone else? Hearing none, I take a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second. Have a good night, everyone.